This Baltimore City 911, this take out of your emergency.
You need to hurry up, come in here. Somebody, my son said somebody murdered in the room. Hello? Man? Oh my God. I am so scared right now. Oh my God, Deon! Oh my God. It's blood. Blood everywhere.
Do it look like he been shot, ma'am?
Yes.
Investigators rushed to the scene, and what they discovered was truly horrifying.
Upon entering the victim's room, I noticed the room to be in disarray. I noticed the victim to be laying on the ground, on his back. He was wearing tan shorts, a white t-shirt, and tennis shoes. He had blood around his head, blood spatter around him. The wound on the side of the victim's head indicated that it was a large caliber gun. There was no cell phone, there was no murder weapon, so there really wasn't a lot of evidence within this room.
It almost looked like there were signs of a struggle. The interior of the residence was a little messy. He was near a couch that had been pulled away from the wall, and in his hand he had some money. Maybe it was a robbery gone bad, or maybe somebody tried to burglarize his residence, but it was odd that he had money in his hand. There were no signs of forced entry. There was no damage to the front door, the door jamb. So this was possibly somebody that either lived there or was, the victim was comfortable with.
While searching the room, investigators found an ID card, identifying the victim as 25-year-old Deon Smith. Investigators spoke with Paulette Richardson, who had reported the incident and called 911.
I'm a detective and I'm assigned to the homicide unit. I'm here to speak to you in reference to a death that one of my partners is out investigating in Argyle Avenue.
Paulette was inside her room, we're on the second floor, and her son, Dexter, ran into her bedroom screaming, "Call the police."
And I'm like, why? You like, some guy, he said Deon is dead. And I'm like, what you mean? He said he did.
At that time, Paulette Richardson called 911. Although she didn't witness the incident, she was still nervous as to any repercussions about giving information to the police.
Richardson seemed nervous and unprepared to answer the police, so investigators turned to her son, Dexter, for questioning.
What's your first name again? Dexter? Dexter Richardson Jr.
Paulette's son, Dexter, was brought into the homicide office and interviewed.
I wake up around like 7, took a shower. That's when my mother and her friend knocked on my door, gave me my $8. And at that point, I said, where everybody at? She said she don't know. She went upstairs.
Dexter comes out of his room and notices that Deon's door is open.
So I peeped in the room, and when I peeped in the room, I seen like dried blood on the floor. Like I didn't peep really around. I seen his arm.
Dexter tells us that while he's discovered the body, he hears a tap at the window.
He had went around to the front door and opened the door, and a man wearing a gray t-shirt entered the dwelling.
He a type of person I want to hang with. Like, he look dirty. Junkie? No, not like haircut, not cut. Like, just one of them people you be like, nah, I don't want to hang with. Sketchy, yeah, just kind of uneasy around.
Dexter and this man walked towards the hallway of Deon's room, and this man told Dexter, "I think something's wrong with Deon."
That's when I ran upstairs and told everybody else.
By the time Dexter comes back downstairs, this man is gone. He had left the residence.
Do you know his nickname? Or street name, real name? I don't even know this person.
At this point in the investigation, I have a dead body, I don't have a murder weapon, I have a 911 call, and I have 2 potential witnesses.
After questioning, investigators searched the building and found CCTV cameras on every floor. When they reviewed the footage, it revealed something truly shocking.
While watching the video, I see that Dexter is in the hallway, and I see an individual that he lets in the front door. A man enters wearing a gray t-shirt.
Dexter lets in the man, dressed in a gray t-shirt that he went to the door for.
This individual then walks with Dexter towards the victim's room.
Dexter then leaves this person he's let in, and he goes up to the 3rd floor.
While Dexter's upstairs, the individual in the gray shirt appears to enter the victim's room.
Dexter is on the 3rd floor, which is where his mom, Paulette Richardson, is. There's a camera on that floor as well, in the hallway. We see Dexter go up to his mother, and they have a brief conversation, but it's excitement.
He told his mother what had happened. Paulette then went around to other rooms, trying to notify the other residents.
Although there's no audio on the video, you could tell by the body language that something desperate has happened. It was tragic to them. You could tell they were affected by it. It was very helpful for us to corroborate their statements. He's wearing a great short-sleeve T-shirt. It's got an emblem on the front of it. He's wearing jeans and some white sneakers with black shoelaces. And his demeanor is unusual. It's like he's going a little bit above and beyond to try and act like nothing has happened. By him trying not to be suspicious makes him look suspicious. We see the man walk off a camera toward Deon's apartment. He's off camera for a brief period of time.
Investigators checked the footage. The victim was taking his belongings out of the house. They asked the owner, why was he doing that? The answer changed everything.
There was a lady that passed away on the 2nd floor, and Deon liked the unit. It was bigger. So he decided he wanted to move upstairs, so that was the plan for the day.
Deon was going through the natural progression of working and seeing the benefits of, being employed and having the responsibilities of having your own place. He was so proud of himself. Like, he was finally on his own and had his own space.
They called the landlord to confirm why he was moving his things. As they continued watching the footage, something appeared on CCTV, suspicious, shocking, and unexpected.
Now his demeanor has changed. He's like pacing back and forth. He's walking toward the door and looking out the window and just kind of like something's bothering him. He's got this bag strapped to his back, and you could tell there's some agitation in his body language.
Black bag around his arm.
He's carrying a shotgun, what looks like a pistol grip shotgun with a shorter barrel, and he's standing in the hallway. It's not normal to be carrying a shotgun out in the open. In fact, it's illegal to do that. So immediately this guy becomes a person of interest to us.
One of the residents walk in, and he actually tries to hide the shotgun behind his leg as they pass and keep walking by. The residents are coming and going out of the front door and just walk past him. I found it odd that they're in their own home and they're passing this individual and they're not making any contact with him.
Later in the day, about 5:56, the video shows this gentleman with the white tank top again. He's wearing a hat now. He's looking out the window. It's like he's waiting for someone.
Investigators confirmed why he was moving his things. As they continued watching the footage, something appeared on CCTV, suspicious, shocking, and unbelievable.
We see the individual in the white tank top running out of Deon's room, down the hallway.
He cautiously opens the front door, looks out before actually walking outside. We're looking at it, we're zooming in on it, we're blowing it up. He has a pistol grip shotgun in his hand, and he's stuffing it down his pants. That's absolutely a shotgun, no question.
I know at this point that Deon was just murdered. This individual has to be identified, and quickly. Now that I have this suspect captured on video, the next step is to identify the individuals that are in the hallway with him that can possibly identify him. While reviewing the footage of the residents in the hallway, and seeing as they pass this individual with a white tank top and not pay any attention to him, one person stands out. He passes him and actually does a double take. Looks at him, walks by, looks back again, and then continues on. He looks familiar to me. This is one of the individuals that was helping Deon move his items out of his room in the morning. I asked myself, why is this man doing a double take? Does he know him, or does he know something's about to happen?
We need to locate and interview him and figure out what his role is.
Investigators then informed the victim's family. A moment no one was ever prepared for.
I remember getting a call and being told Deon was gone. And I remember my breath being taken away. Because I'm thinking our city and the violence, and now it was this close to home.
Everything that I was dreaming of at that time shattered.
We'd watched Deon grow up, and we'd watched him finally come into who he wanted to be, and then to think that Deon's gone means that his kids won't ever see him again. It's senseless. He was so special, and such a sweet, kind soul gone.
It was a visual. In the immediate vicinity of where he was actually murdered, they drew "Rest in Peace, Deon A."
I think everyone who loses a young person, in particular, to violence unexpectedly, we have to do something, because murder and violence in Baltimore is just so normalized. You have to do something to show, the gravity of the loss. And the loss of a young person is such a huge loss. Their dreams are cut in half. I think people should be remembered, how you last saw them and the truest version of themselves. And again, for me and Deon, it's that big old smile.
And when bad things happen to good people, a lot of people don't say anything, but yeah, the city did. They went above and beyond for Deon.
Investigators returned to speak with the witnesses. Every answer could hold a crucial clue.
In talking with the residents, I discovered that Deon was the building maintenance man, as well as volunteer for the Kids Zone at the Drug Rehabilitation Center. Everyone I spoke to spoke very highly of Deon. He was very friendly, very charismatic, liked everybody and helped everybody. The individual in the black shirt who was helping Deon move was his cousin. He was identified as Little Zamani. While finding out more about Deon and his past, it was discovered that the building that he lived in was owned by his family. And his cousin also stayed in the building.
Me, Deon, and Louis Imani are related. Well, actually, cousins.
One of the witnesses provided information, said they heard the cousin and Deon arguing about who was in charge of the building.
We have a unit inside a homicide called Homicide Operations, and they've been searching for him.
Investigators began searching for Imani. Once they found him, the questioning started. And what he revealed left everyone stunned.
While being interviewed, Imani advised that he recognized the suspect, but he didn't know the suspect's real name, and is no longer involved in this investigation. It was great to have Imani come in, but it didn't solve this case. We needed more information.
Investigators reached out to the Public Information Office, searching for any trace of the suspect. What came back raised even more questions.
We have a unit in the police department known as our Public Information Office. And what we do is we create a segment of video that best shows the suspect. And we put that out to that unit, who then contacts all of our media outlets, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things, to see if anybody can identify who this is.
I went back to the morning, the day that Deon was murdered, and I reviewed more footage.
Play from where the residents walked past the guy with the gun.
There's another individual that walks past the suspect and glances back at him. Now I want to know who this person is, and can they identify the suspect? The man that passes the suspect is identified as Willie. We find out through residents that he also lives in the building. When searching these names, we found that some of the names had criminal records. with their photographs attached to the record. Another detective who's not involved in the investigation comes in and shows the witness this photographic array.
Greetings and salutations, my good man. How you doing, sir? All is well. All is well.
The way a photographic array works is that you take 6 photographs, one being who you believe to be the suspect, and then 5 other photographs of people that are similar looking. And you present them to the witness and you let them look at them one at a time.
Do you need to look at one again? Yeah, can I think it was this one, I think it was. That one. That one. That one. Which one? This one? I don't know his name. Okay.
Willie positively identifies number 5 out of the 6 photographs. Willie is confident that this is the individual that was in the hallway. He tells us that he knows the person only by face and has seen him hanging out in the area but doesn't know his name. Number 5 is Terrell Gibson. Now we do a background investigation on Terrell Gibson.
He had a history of selling drugs. He also had possession of a deadly weapon.
Our investigation determined that Terrell had recently been released from prison and he needed a place to stay. He knew Deon, and he asked Deon if he could stay at his place. Deon, being the person he is, allowed Terrell to stay in his room.
If Deon had to share a sofa with Terrell, he would. You know, if he had to sleep on the floor and give Terrell the only pillow, like that's the person that Deon is. And Deon barely had enough for himself, but still, you know, allowed himself to help.
Investigators reviewed the footage once again. This time, they spotted something suspicious. Something they missed before.
I spend hours reviewing this footage, going through every second, every minute. I identify an individual in the hallway, and this individual walks up to Deon's shoeboxes. There's several shoeboxes in the hallway. And this individual picks out one shoebox from this whole pile, walks away back to Deon's room.
About 10 minutes later, he comes back and places the shoebox on top of the rest of the shoeboxes that were in the hallway. Goes to the front door, and he opens the door and looks outside as if looking for someone. And then he comes back to the shoebox and puts it back in the exact order that he found it.
It looks suspicious because at that time, I'm wondering what's in that shoebox, why is he hiding it, and why does he return it to the same exact spot when no one's around? The same individual that took the shoebox from Deon is now talking to Terrell in the hallway. The conversation is normal at first, but then it becomes more animated, and it's obvious these two are arguing.
While watching the footage, investigators saw them arguing. But the reason behind it wasn't clear at all.
What we start to realize is that the gentleman in the gray t-shirt is the same shape and build as the gentleman in the tank top. He has these very distinct tennis shoes on. He's wearing Air Jordans, and they're white in color with black laces, and they have kind of an interesting shape on the heel of the shoe. Features matched. The height, the weight, the way he walks, the way he kind of wears his pants, kind of pulled down. The gentleman with the gray t-shirt is the person with the white tank top on.
Terrell Gibson had changed his clothes after the murder, but he still had the same walk, the same look, the same distinct features, and he was still wearing the same jeans and same tennis shoes. Terrell Gibson came back to the house, I believe, to clean up any evidence that he left and to distance himself from being there when the murder was committed. At that point, I eliminated everybody else for being a suspect. Terrell was the one responsible for the murder of Deon.
Terrell Gibson was found hiding in his mother's basement. Investigators moved in, and the arrest was made. During questioning, he revealed shocking truths that changed the entire case.
My partner. You were brought down here in reference to a friend of yours who was killed. What's his name? Deon. When Deon got killed? Right. You were brought down here in reference to that, and just some things I want to talk to you about. Alright? About that whole incident. You don't want to talk?
No, I don't want to talk, because if I don't got my lawyer present, I
Totally understand. I get it.
I ain't trying to self-incriminate myself.
It's always disappointing when they don't want to talk to us. You know, it's, I think just from a human standpoint, I mean, to take another human life, there's nothing worse than that. It's almost like we're due an explanation.
If they don't want to speak to me, it doesn't bother me at all. I already have everything I need.
If anything, it makes them look more guilty.
After Terrell was arrested, we went back to his mother's house to conduct a search and seizure warrant to try to locate any evidence in reference to his case. We did not locate a gun, clothing, or any other evidence that could be helpful. Not having the murder weapon is actually common in most murders. The video footage in this case is really all the evidence we need. Seeing him run to that house and shoving that shotgun down the front of his pants, that's the evidence we need to convict Terrell Gibson.
Terrell Gibson was charged with the murder of Deon Smith. His trial began on September 25, 2018.
Breaking news tonight, a jury finds the man accused of murdering the brother of the Baltimore police spokesperson guilty. Terrell Gibson was convicted of murdering Deon Smith back in July 2017 in Smith's West Baltimore apartment. Sentencing is set for December 12th.
Justice was served, but one precious life was lost forever.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories that delve deep into the heart of the human experience.